All right, ladies and gentlemen, this week's guest on the Kill Your Internet podcast is none other than White Sox Dave from Barstool Sports. Dave, how we doing today, bud?
I'm doing great. It's about 75 and sunny in Chicago, but we're locked up. And I just went for a run down in my neighborhood. I live on the north side, and I'd say the hardest part about being outside right now is walking by all the puppies and all the dogs and not being able to go near them. Because I just saw about 3 dozen puppies outside. I want to play with them all.
Dude, so my sister-in-law just got a puppy the day quarantine started, and she can't take the puppy out in the neighborhood. She lives in Port Richmond, which is in like northeast Philadelphia. Can't take him out because all the junkies in the neighborhood just want to pet him. So,
yeah, I mean, dude, I don't think you want junkies pet your dog, quarantine or not, but yeah, it's tough right now. It's tough.
Yeah, that's a common problem here in Philadelphia. Dave, I guess I'll start. Can I call you Dave? Do we got it?
Yeah. Everybody calls me Dave.
All right, beautiful. All right, Dave, what's a day like right now, quarantine, for you as a Barstool Sports employee?
So nothing's changed for me. We have more work on our table. So we can pretty much work from home anyways, but we have our serious show that we have to go in the office for from 2 to 3 p.m. every day, Central Time, regardless. So I'm there for at least an hour every day, but I like to get out of the place just because I'm getting stir crazy and everything.
Of course, man.
Cabin fever.
Dude, I've been randomly just driving to our rehearsal studio. No one else can go there. I just have a key, and I'll literally just go in there in the middle of the day. I just need to be somewhere that's not my house.
Exactly. So that's what I'm doing. And that's the only place I've gone the last 2 months or 3 months or whatever. So it's nice having it. But, I mean, typically I'm up by 7 a.m. looking for stories to write. There's not any baseball or sports, which is obviously my bread and butter.
Right.
But we have the serious show. We're running 2 podcasts. We got a late night show that's every Monday and Thursday, so I'll be recording that later tonight. And, we got an email from, the head honchos, Erica and Dave, right when this all started saying, hey, now's the time to shine. We were busy before, now we're going to be even busier. So you got to take it and run with it, and that's what we're doing. So we're even busier now than we've ever been.
I think for us, because we're giant stoolies. We're fucking diehard stoolies, have been since college. Me and Ken went to college together. The one thing that's been amazing to watch for you guys specifically in this entire situation is the content hasn't gone down. You guys have just adapted and done crazier shit. Like between Big Cat as Coach Doug's, between fucking Marty Mush over here throwing ping pong balls, and Dave unboxing shit from random people, which, by the way, is not safe. There's no way that's safe.
No, it's not safe. But, I mean, that's kind of what we got into today on radio, actually, is like, where do you draw the line between being a complete zombie and not living life and then, being somewhat normal? So I know I don't think anybody's sending them, like, any anthrax or anything in the mail. Obviously not, but
it's a lot of dildos. It seems like it's just mostly dildos. It's just mostly dildos.
How many dildos can you get before? Can you send before it's not funny anymore?
Those people had to go out, buy dildos during quarantine, and send them in the mail to Dave Portnoy. That's fucking incredible commitment.
I don't think it. I wouldn't do that, but to each their own, I guess.
Oh man.
Other than that, if he's worried about getting coronavirus through the mail. I think that's part of where he draws his line. I would not be worried about it.
Neither would I.
Whatever. So it's everybody's, opinion on that, I guess.
I mean, Ken can attest to this because in our band, there's 6 of us, and there's 3 people that are very cautious, and then there's me who doesn't give a flying fuck. I just want to get back to work.
Exactly. That's how I am. The second, and different states are operating. I don't know how Pennsylvania or New Jersey is doing it right now. But I got a ton. My mom lives in New Jersey, not far from Philly. But Illinois shut down through the end of May, and I wouldn't be surprised if they extended it through June. But the second I'm allowed to go to a bar, or baseball stadium, or whatever, I'm there. I don't care.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm gonna get sick, I'm gonna get sick. I want to live my life at this point. Just fucking give it to me. I'll more than likely. Chances are I'll get over it personally. I know 3 people, and this. I know this doesn't count for everybody, but I know 3 people who have gotten it. 2, my good friend and his girlfriend, they both got it. His brother, who I haven't met before, but they're like, yeah, it sucked for I was cold, a cold, nasally and everything. But then my dad's best friend got it. He just had a heart attack a year ago.
Oh my God.
Stint put in. He's like, I want to get the fuck out of the house and like walk the dog and everything.
Yeah, you got to do what you – dude, and the funny thing is, so my brother's a firefighter. My mom's a nurse. And they give less of a fuck than anybody. You figure the people that are like on the front lines of the shit,
right?
They don't care at all.
They don't have a choice. They gotta.
Yeah, they have to. They really don't have a choice.
I read like 30 minutes ago, right before I hopped on, that over half the deaths in the United States so far, or no, I'm sorry, in the three biggest areas, it was New York City, New Jersey, and then I want to say Florida.
Yeah, it's
over
Florida.
Half the deaths have been in retirement home communities out of those three states, which makes sense, obviously. You know,
it's all a matter of like. Yeah. At a certain point, it's going to be protect the people who need to be protected, like the older people. And then after a certain point, we're all just going to have to get back to it. I think right now we're all just kind of being good citizens. Everybody is trying to like –
and that's fine. I can deal with it for so long. But, I mean, a lot of people are hurting right now. A lot of people that would be able to handle it, I think, are not working and want to be working so they can put food on themselves and their family's table. So, I don't know. I don't want to get political about it.
Dude. The fucking craziest thing is that like everybody just wants to get back to normal, and there's no blueprint for this shit. So we're all just kind of around here like I don't know what the fuck to do. To be completely honest,
I don't know either. I'm just following the lead. But like I said, the day we're allowed to be as normal as can be, I'm gonna be as normal as can be.
Damn right. So I think first off for me, like my main thing, how does it feel to be at the epicenter of sports right now? Because right now, all anybody gives a shit about is The Last Dance. And Jay Cutler. And that's got to be kind of interesting to be from Chicago, and you're just in the middle of all this.
So, I don't know. How old are you guys?
I'm 28.
I'm sorry. I live by a hospital if you want to, like, mark this or something.
I live in Philly. You'll be lucky if you don't hear gunshots out the window. It is what it is.
So, I'm 31, and I only remember the last two, kind of three championships.
Right.
So, a lot of this is brand new to me. Like, I had no idea how much that MJ hated Chicago guy, Detroit Pistons, Isaiah Thomas. I mean, he's from Chicago, born, bred. Typically, we love, and I'm sure it's the same way for Philly, like, we love people that are from Chicago.
Yep.
It doesn't matter who they play for. You know, you're always following them. You always root for them, unless they end up on, like, the Packers or something. But even then, you like them. You just don't like the team they play for.
Yeah, you hate them for the time being, and then later on down the road.
Exactly. And I got friends that play for the Packers, actually, which I root against them. But
they have to respect that.
They do. I mean, they grew up Bears fans, and one of them he was on a PMT in like October. Dan Vitale. I went to high school with him. He was a couple years younger than me. He's fullback on the Packers.
Low man trophy.
There you go. And he was 3 years younger than me in high school, and now he just signed with New England, another team I absolutely hate. But as far as MJ, like, we hate Isaiah Thomas here. Hate him. I didn't realize that hate was that strong.
Yeah.
And it goes back to those early Pistons series when they beat the Bulls at first, and then the Bulls ended up, beating them when MJ started becoming MJ.
Right.
But the whole thing's awesome. Like, you see, and I know, and I don't really like the whole MJ versus LeBron debate because I think it's just, swimming upstream.
Of course.
But it's like to see how he was just wired differently. Like, he was a head case, and I mean that in the best way possible, just a complete psychopath in practice. It could be throwing quarters against a wall or whatever they were doing in that scene, or, golfing, or
dude, that poor kid from the fucking Wizards' whole life got destroyed because MJ made up a story. Like, he's a different character, dude.
We interviewed him yesterday.
No, wait. So I was going to bring this up. Mm-hmm. I listened to that episode of Redline, and the first point I want to bring up, I didn't realize how closely related Chicago sports and Philly sports are. Number one, the first thing you guys did was talk about the first prediction for your season was 17-0. That is Philly sports talk to a fucking T, because you listen to it, and it's just like, yeah, dude, Mikey missed. Mike Missinelli is our sports talk guy. So Mikey missed. Birds are going fucking 16-1 just to be safe. Like, that's what it is.
That's what it was. They're going to win the bye week.
Of course, man, obviously.
Yeah. And I think my rationale was that Aaron Rodgers will be traded by them. He's like, he's my most hated, like, competitor, like, other team.
And it's not even like you can't even like him as a human being because he's so fucking curmudgeonly. Like,
about him. No, I hate that man. I hate him.
I mean, for me, Ken, who's our most hated guy, you think?
Every single year.
At the moment?
Who's our most hated guy at the moment?
I feel like people don't like Dak Prescott, but he's not like a threat. He's not like Rodgers.
It's just the Cowboys as a whole. Fuck them.
Yeah, even then, like Dak Prescott, he's a pretty decent quarterback, but Aaron Rodgers is like one of the greatest ever. I would say this, and I hate saying this out loud, but I think he's better than Brady. I think if you put him in New England, he wins more Super Bowls than Tom Brady does. I think he's a better passer, more accurate, better arm.
He did all this with Mike McCarthy as a coach, and his best wide receiver ever was like Donald Driver. Like
Donald Driver, Jordy Nelson, maybe.
Jordy Nelson, who left and went to Oakland and just fell off the face of the earth.
Did nothing.
But all right, so let's get past hated teams. Let's go to let's start with the Bears and the White Sox because that's obviously the bread and the butter here. Looking at the Bears, enjoy Big Dick Nick because obviously he
got you guys a Super Bowl.
I have the newspaper framed in my kitchen of Nick Foles holding the trophy. That man gave me the best moment of my life besides my wedding day. Best moment of my life by far. What's your thought, dude? Because you obviously have the Trubisky situation hanging over your head.
I mean, he's a good insurance policy. In an ideal world, he'd be a perfect backup quarterback because as he's shown a few different times, he can come in and he can light it up, you know?
Yeah.
Like, how many games did he start prior to the 2018 playoffs?
He started the last 3 games of the regular season.
Yeah, I was going to say 2. And then he just goes off in the playoffs, you know?
He didn't even in the first game against the Falcons. We won like 17-14, and he shit the bed. And then he just blew up against the Vikings, and he blew up against the – he has a statue now. So
he has this. There you go. He'll be in Philadelphia lore forever.
Dude.
But like I said, he's a perfect backup quarterback. I think a perfect backup quarterback.
Yeah.
But the only thing is, like, if he's not starting, like, I don't think that's a perfect situation, especially with how, you know, Trubisky, they didn't pick up his 5th-year option. There's still a hint of faith for me personally and for a decent amount of people in Chicago, but he's never going to be a star. And a lot of that's on Nagy as well, their head coach and play caller. So
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. It's do or die for them. They have to make the playoffs. Otherwise, it's a new regime.
You got to blow it up. I think the biggest thing is, too, dude, it's a fucking contract year for the kid. If he wants a job moving forward, he's got to ball out. So
I mean, he'll have a job as a backup no matter what.
Yeah.
For at least I'd say another 3-4 years. I mean, look at some of the guys that have stuck as a backup forever, you know? Another kid, I went to a small D3 school, and I don't know if you guys know who Alex Tanney is. He just he's on the Giants right now.
Is he the Giants backup quarterback?
Yeah, and he started a couple games last year for the Titans. And
no shit.
Yeah, and he's my age.
Wait, the Vikings backup quarterback was Tanney to Tannehill.
Yeah, he was
that really
third
happened.
String. He was 3rd string.
Oh, yeah, because they still have Mariota.
Right. But he's been around the league forever. So Mitch will be around the league forever.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, he's the 2nd overall pick. You know, you don't want that out of it. We thought that he was going to be the savior. He's going to, you know, lead the team to a Super Bowl. And after year 1, it's like, all right.
Damn.
Well, it was technically his 2nd year because he only started a few games his 1st year. But his 2nd year, it's like, all right, they go to the playoffs, fucking double dunk against the Eagles, of course.
I didn't want to bring that up, but you did it, so I guess we're just going to have to deal with that.
I figured it was coming.
I was going to ease into it before I dug in.
That was actually the funny story about that was it was the first night we were full-time with Barstool.
Yeah.
And I was at the game. I got obliterated drunk, and I woke up to emails and missed texts from Portnoy saying, why the fuck are you not blogging this game? Like, you should be blogging all this shit. And I'm like,
because I'm dead.
Well, it's because I went out and got fucking – like shit-faced drunk because I was so pissed, but I didn't like realize like that was the expectation at the time.
I'll show you how much that Barstool like kind of frames my like thought process. So I'm in my old apartment watching this happen. Fucking double doink happens. I literally threw my shoulder out, freaking out about this, scared the shit out of my dog. And the first thing I did was go to the electric chair and watch Big Cat suicidal and Roan and fucking Schmitty freaking out. So it's the first place we go. So
yeah, I remember this was in I think it was 2015, like when live streams weren't really a thing yet. I want to say it was the Mets versus Cubs series. The Mets just hit I want to say it was a walk-off single. David Wright maybe. I forget who hit it. Anyways, the views were steady at like 5,000. The Mets walk off against the Cubs, and then all of a sudden 20 seconds later, it's up to 20,000 because everybody wanted to see Big Cat's reaction.
People want suicidal Big Cat. That's all they want.
It's funny. Our fans root against us like crazy. It's crazy.
So all right. So we covered the Bears. Let's go into the White Sox. So how did you decide? You're in a town with two sports, like because the White Sox are the South Side, correct?
Yeah.
Like, that's usually how you're. So how'd you wind up becoming a White Sox diehard?
So my dad grew up. Well, I should say until he was like 12, 10, 11, 12. When he was a younger kid, he lived on the South Side for walking distance from the stadium. And from old Comiskey Park. It's torn down now, but and then he moved to the North Side, walking distance from Wrigley. And he was a Sox fan. His dad was a Sox fan. His mom was a Sox fan. Then he's got a big family. His youngest brother's a Cubs fan because when they moved to the North Side, they were walking distance from Wrigley.
Yeah.
And when they were, I want to say like 15 maybe, they moved out to the suburbs where I grew up, same town. And where I grew up, when I was in high school, I'd say it was about a 60-40 split between where I'm from, between Cubs fans 60, Sox fans 40.
Right.
And farther south you go in the suburbs, more Sox fans. Farther north, more Cubs fans, obviously. Now it's obviously a little different because the Cubs have been on a roll and the White Sox have been dog shit for years. But I number 1 and 1A, I would say, are I hate the Packers and I hate the Cubs.
I was just going to ask.
Fucking hate the Cubs. I hate everything about them.
Well, I mean, you got to look at it this way, too, because I'm a baseball guy. I played a year and a half of college baseball. Like, I was all-city Philadelphia. Like, that's my sport. Like, I'm a fucking baseball guy. First off, I thought you guys, the Bryce Harper year, were going to close in free agency, at least Machado or Harper.
It should have been one of the two.
Just looking at your team, I was looking over the roster. I love a lot of the moves you guys have made.
Yeah.
Grandal's your catcher. Just looking at the roster, I mean, you still have Abreu. Your shortstop's a fucking stud. Like, you guys have a team.
Yeah. No, this was the year. So they started rebuilding in 2016 when they traded Chris Sale, Adam Eaton to the Nationals, Quintana to the Cubs, and then it was for all prospects, and all those guys are 2-3 years away. And then last year, all these guys are starting to get up, but you're seeing a lot of growing pains. So like Giolito, who was in the he had 8 starts for the Nationals. When he came over in the trade, you saw the growing pains. So he have 12 strikeouts, 1 start. The next start, he'd give up 8 runs.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, it started clicking last year, and you're like, holy shit, this team's going to be good. They need some free agents to fill this out. They went out and signed Dallas Keuchel. And people are like, oh, why are they paying Dallas Keuchel that much money? He's going to be their 5th starter next year.
I forgot about that move until I looked at the roster. Yeah. That's a great fucking move.
He's going to be their 5th starter. He's going to throw 100. I mean, not anymore, but he would have thrown 180 to 200 innings, give you 4 ERA or less baseball. That's perfect out of the 5th starter.
I guess, too, looking at it now, like, have you seen anything? Have you heard anything from fucking insiders or anything going around saying, like, all right, we have this lined up for the baseball season, or are you kind of in the dark the way that we are?
So we've interviewed 3 Cubs players, Anthony Rizzo, Ian Happ, and then Jason Hayward in the last week or so. And they don't even know. So all that's being worked on right now is making sure there's appropriate testing, safety precautions, all that shit. And then within the next, it has to be in the next, at very most, I'd say 10 days.
Yeah.
You have to have a signed proposal because you need 2 to 3 weeks to get the players ready to report.
Right.
And you need a 3-week spring training 2.0. And then at that point, it's going to be early to mid-July. After that, what's the point? They're not going to start a season in August.
Yeah, you can't start a season in August because it's going to be fucking cold by the time you're 60 games in. There's
exactly. So that's what they're doing. They got to get it on paper. Like, this is what we're doing in the next, week to 10 days, I'd say.
And they have to do it because even if the players don't like what's going on necessarily right now, like, you really don't have a fucking choice because you're either going to make no money or a part of your money. Like, and the fucking Blake Snell argument that he's on Twitch over here talking about, I'm not playing.
That was I thought he handled himself really poorly right there, even though I don't disagree with what he said.
I get it.
I get it, yes, but at the same time, like, he's not a fucking scientist. I wouldn't say he's risking his life or anything like that. And I'm not a scientist either, but hey, let your reps do the talking for you. Like, I wouldn't have opened my mouth like that. Like, that's what Tony Clark's there for.
And the players' union should be fucking handling this. You don't need to going on. Well, this is technology. Everybody's got the ability to voice their opinion at any time. So you got idiots.
Yeah, of course.
So
he's allowed to speak freely. I just wouldn't do that if I were him.
You're more likely going to put your foot in your mouth speaking freely than just having to go through the process.
Exactly.
Right. So now he's getting ripped apart, of course. Like, even though, like I said, I don't disagree with what he said necessarily, it's just like he handled it poorly.
I mean, and two, like, all right, so we get into the technology conversation because at one point or another, we're going to start talking about the internet because this is kind of the name of the podcast. Mm-hmm. So I think one thing I wanted to touch on that is like looking at the company that you work for.
Yep.
You guys fucking changed the way people take in sports, and you fucking changed the internet. Like, does that ever hit you guys? Like, do you like fucking realize that?
Yes and no. I mean, so the four of us in the Chicago office, we came from like the working world. Like we all had like 9-to-5 jobs until a little over a year ago. So that still doesn't really hit me yet. I mean, obviously I've gotten used to like my day-to-day process and everything, but like, and I'm talking more like Big Cat, KFC, those guys, and especially Portnoy, obviously. Like those guys are beyond. They work unbelievably hard. Not that to say that we don't, because we do, but their creative brains and their imaginations and how smart they are goes very unnoticed. Those guys work their asses off.
And I feel like those dudes have been through every fucking situation already, so they're already this far in. So was Big Cat like the impetus behind the Chicago office opening, or was that like a proposal?
No, that's funny. So I was in college, and I remember seeing I was my last year of college. I was on the 5-year plan. I was in my redshirt senior year, and I'm sitting in my apartment, and
Me too.
I saw Portnoy tweet that Barstool Chicago's opening. Like, if you want to contribute, and I had a blog with my buddy in college and everything already. If you want to contribute, like, send us your shit. We'll see if we can work you in. So he hired a guy from Rhode Island. I don't think you guys remember him probably, and his name was Neil. He only lasted like 6 or 8 months, and he was running all of Barstool Chicago. But like a month or two after Barstool Chicago started, Big Cat, Portnoy is like, I'll pay you whatever you got, because Portnoy and Big Cat had back and forths like way before the New York was even a concept,
right?
And like the New York office and everything. And Big Cat's like, no, I got a good job. Like I'll do it on the side. You can pay me, but I'm not. So Portnoy finally talked him into doing it full time. Neil left. In the meantime, they needed sports contributors because it was all city based, like Barstool Philly, Barstool New York, Boston, Chicago. Right. And so Portnoy asked me what my name was, and I'm like, my name is Dave. He's like, well, what's your nickname? I'm like, nobody calls me anything other than Dave. So he asked me he's like, all right, well, you're not going to be Dave because I'm Dave, so you can be White Sox Dave. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm White Sox Dave, even though no one calls me that other than on the internet.
I was just going to ask you, like, in normal conversation, are people like, yo, White Sox Dave, what are you doing today? Like, it's not like that.
If people, like, see me in a bar or something, they'll yell White Sox Dave. But in, like, normal conversation, no one ever says White Sox Dave. No.
I mean, that, too. Like, so, like, even, like, from our perspective, like, the music world and the sports world are different, but everything kind of runs together on the internet. And so if people will see me out somewhere who kind of know me but don't really know me, it's, yo, Foxtrot. My name's fucking Colin. Nobody, like, that's not going to fly for me. Like, is there ever a moment when you're kind of like, dude, just fucking call me Dave, please?
Like if I have a conversation, like I won't say it like that necessarily. I'll be like, oh, just call me Dave. Like, yeah. It's cool. Like, but I don't get like offended if they call me White Sox Dave or anything. It's just like, I know that, like, I don't want to say there's a line to draw, but it's, and I don't have a preference really.
Yeah.
But if you're talking to me, like, don't, like, call me Dave. Just
right.
It's easier anyways. It's less syllables, you know?
So, like, all right, so you get put into this situation. You jump on 2018, right? 2018 would be kind of your timeline when you got in?
Well, I started in 2013 with Barstool.
Wow,
like,
I didn't know that.
Long. Yeah, that's how long. So this will be year 7 in July.
Wow.
I've been with Barstool, and the entire time up until January 2nd or whatever of 2019, I was just like, they paid me a few $100 a month, $500 a month to like write about the White Sox, which is perfectly, it like paid some rent, you know, some utility bills or whatever. So it was perfectly cool with me. And then we started Redline Radio. This will be 4 years ago. It was right after the Cubs won the World Series, and the Sox made all the trades with Chris Sale and Quintana and Eaton and all that. And we're like, the Cubs are going to be good for a long time. The White Sox should be good in 3 years. There's a legit chance they could maybe meet in the World Series. And
oh my God, would the city burn down?
Oh, it would burn to the ground. There'd be legit deaths. There would be deaths. Like, the Cubs fans and Sox fans don't like each other when in those 6 games a year they play. They are arch nemesis.
Having seen the Eagles win the Super Bowl, and my entire life, everything I've ever said was, if the Birds ever win the Super Bowl, this city will fucking burned to the ground. And I don't know if you saw the video that Roan and Caleb put up of them in the shit. We were down there. Like, I was there.
Yeah.
I was in a pile of tears. I was crying, popping champagne, and it wasn't like that. But the difference was that there wasn't animosity. It was a fucking joyous occasion. So you're going to have to deal with half the city hating you and half the city being on fire because you're happy.
So I don't – the Bears went to the Super Bowl in 2005, 2006. They lost to the Colts and Peyton Manning. I wasn't alive for when they won it in 85, which is that team's still the most famous team in Chicago history. By
and
far
that is such a long-running thing. Like, is that still the most talked about thing in Chicago? Like 85 Bears, 85 Bears.
It's anytime there's like a Bears conversation, like with my dad, he'll start talking about like Gary Fensick or Dan Hampton or Mike Mongo. You know, he'll start talking about all those guys. Like that team will forever be the most famous team, even more than the Cubs.
Bro, I'm telling you, Philly and Chicago are the same city, just flipped into the middle of the country. It's just fucking same thing.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that from a lot of people, actually.
It's for me, I have a soft spot for Chicago because it's our number one Spotify city. It's our number one stream city in the country. So I'm big on Chicago. Ken sees it right there. But more than anything, it's just I respect it because, one, you guys are very passionate, and two, you guys hate the same way that we hate. And I think that's very important.
I love to hate.
Me too, man. It's big.
Like that's the fun thing about sports. Like I hate sportsmanship, not in the sense of like being a dirty player. I hate sportsmanship where people are such pussies that they don't like when you talk shit about other teams. Because half the fun about sports is loving your team. The other half is hating other teams.
Number one team for me is a team in your division, and it's the fucking Vikings. Bro. So in 2018, when we won the Super Bowl, the Vikings came to Philadelphia for the NFC Championship game. They put a jersey on Rocky. They did that stupid skull chant on top of the Art Museum stairs. And then 2,000 of them showed up to tailgate the NFC Championship game in Philadelphia. And there was like 150,000 people out there. And we ruined these people's lives. And they still to this day won't let their sports talk guys call into Philadelphia. So fuck the Vikings.
I didn't know all that. I mean, Vikings fans and Bears fans have a mutual hatred for the Packers, so we kind of get along there. We still don't like each other, but we don't like necessarily hate each other.
Everybody in the NFC East hates the Cowboys, so it doesn't really make a difference.
I think it's great that everyone piles on the Saints now because the Saints fans have been bitching and moaning about
everything. Yeah, I'm always big on hating the Saints too, because if you're gonna change a rule in the NFL, because you got fucked.
So when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, I moved out to – well, I didn't move out there. I had to work out in Scottsdale, Arizona it was 7 weeks for my old job. And I got out there. It was the day of it was the Sunday morning the Eagles won the championship, Super Bowl Sunday for the Waste Management Open.
Yeah!
So there was a billion people there from Philly for both of them, for the Waste Management Open and for the Super Bowl.
Dude.
And I was like, holy shit, these people are fucking psychotic. Like, every single bar, like –
my boy Ben had his bachelor party at the Waste Management Open and he said it was a fucking mob scene.
It was a mob, and I was like, this is the best place I've ever been. Like, I didn't have a dog in the fight. The Waste Management Open was unbelievable. And it's just like a frat house on a golf course. And then this, like how crazy the bars were that entire night. I was like, holy fucking shit, this is unbelievable.
Philadelphia.
So
that's what it is.
I found a new, like, you guys have respect for Chicago, you say. That reason I was like, I like these guys. Even though you don't have the best reputation
that's all right.
The rest of the country.
We're okay with that. I think we can admit that we've accepted that, right?
Yeah, I don't care. I mean,
I never cared about that. Like, I know some people do. Like, I know especially like New York teams and East Coast teams don't like Philly, but I never cared either way.
And this goes back to the hate thing. I think we relish in that. I don't care.
Right. I wish that people hated the White Sox. I wish that.
And that's exactly what I mean. Like, I'll take people hating the Eagles. It's because in my lifetime, we've been to 6 NFC Championship games. We've won a Super Bowl. I'm cool, man. You can hate me all you want. It's
How
fine.
was that with 3 in a row with McNabb? That would have killed me.
And so that was – me and Ken are like the same age. So that is like 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade for me. So that my whole life was shaped by the thought of Donovan McNabb throwing up in the huddle during the Super Bowl.
Yep, I remember it.
And I actually met McNabb last year. And he was sweet as could be, but every time I looked at him, all I thought was, you big pussy. I was just like, so, all right, so on that note, being that you have access now to different things, you're fucking full-time with Barstool, and you're in your home city, like, what was the biggest oh shit moment? Like, your moment where you were like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm in the room with this person.
Honestly, it was prior. So we had Redline Radio, and I have a good relationship with the White Sox. I don't really know how it started, but they're great to me, and I try to be good to them. It was probably Hawk. You guys are familiar with Hawk Harrelson, right?
Yeah.
So he's like the most loved White Sox, and he didn't even play for the White Sox, which is a weird thing. But he was a broadcaster for 30 or 40 years, however long it was, and his PR team reached out to me, asked me, he's like, hey, would you guys want to interview Hawk Harrelson for your podcast? And this is like 2.5 years ago. I was like, wait, you're asking me this? Usually I'm hustling around asking people if I can interview you, and usually I get told to fuck off, you know?
Yeah.
So that was like, I don't get nervous for interviews at all anymore, but I was like nervous for that one.
Dude, and I feel like, because I figured you were going to say something up the Bears. I don't know what, dude, you're fucking White Sox, Dave. I should have assumed it. Like, have you met Frank Thomas? Have you had any interaction?
I have, but not, so he lives in the north suburbs now. And this was about 3-4 years ago. There's a larger suburb called Libertyville that's about 45 minutes north of the city, and I have a college buddy who lives up there. He's married with kids now, but this is when his wife was like eight months pregnant at the time, and he's like, hey, I got a month left to live, please come up here and get shit faced. Like, I'll pay for a round of golf, I'll pay for the night, like, please come. And I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So we go golfing, and we go out to these bars in Libertyville. It's a good bar scene. And I'm taking a piss, and this got to be like 1 a.m. And Frank Thomas, I'm 5'7", I'm short. And Frank Thomas is 6'5", 300 pounds of, like, man meat, you know?
Just jacked up on Nugenics.
And
just up here, all Nugenics stuff.
So I take a look to my left, and I, like, do a double take, and I'm pissing. And I'm like, you're the big hurt. And he starts laughing. He's like, yeah, you going to let me piss? And I'm like, finish that piss, and I want a picture with you outside. He's like, no pictures. I don't want people to know I'm here. But he came over to our table, and he's like, thanks for following along. I told him, I'm like, I'm the biggest White Sox fan, you know. And that was kind of funny.
I think for us, so I'll go, because I think my biggest, like, music oh shit moment, we opened for Bon Jovi. We opened
That's incredible.
At a fucking stadium. But my biggest oh shit moment ever, Ken was here for it. We did something for a radio station in Philadelphia, and Brian Dawkins, who's fucking Eagle safety, all-time great, my all-time favorite athlete ever, was, like, there that day and was, like, speaking at the thing. So we're about to go on stage to, like, thousands of people, and I'm like, dude, I'm hammered at this point. I'm like, dude, if Dawkins shows up, I'm going to cry. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And Ken's like, yeah, man, that's crazy. And then I turned, and he's standing right next to me. And I proceeded to ask Brian Dawkins to go on stage and smash my guitars. And he thought it was fucking hilarious. I think that's my all-time, like, oh, my fucking God, I actually met Brian Dawkins moment.
There you go. That's incredible. I was going to ask you guys, I don't know if this is more for the end of the episode or not. No, I'll save it for the end of the episode. Let's see.
Go ahead. We're about to get into music anyway.
Okay, so who do you guys, like, draw your inspirations from? Because when you guys sent me your singles, it's right up my alley. It's like the kind of music I listen to.
I think for me, like, it's funny because me and Ken started as a two-piece in college, or three, but, like, we were fucking bullshitting, and we were all over the place. So I guess it's so differentiated between the two of us, but I grew up on Springsteen. I grew up on blues. I grew up on old soul shit, and then I found Kanye. I found hip-hop, and that warped me that way, and then I met somewhere in the middle. Ken, you're all over the place, too.
Yeah, I'm really into, like, the reggae stuff. I love Sublime.
That's my favorite band of all time. That's what I was going to say, because I sensed a little bit of Sublime in there.
That's Ken.
And it's my favorite band in history. I don't think Sublime with Rome's that good personally. But
dude, wait, hold up. We're playing with Sublime with Rome in September.
There you go. Where are you guys playing at?
Jersey. Big amphitheater in Jersey.
Yeah. Hopefully it's
so,
there.
Yo,
Where in Jersey?
Camden. So it's right over the bridge from Philly.
I know where Camden's at. So my mom lives in Toms River. I got a ton of family in, like, Jackson. So half my family's from New Jersey. So maybe if all this shit's cleared up, I'll make an excuse to get out there, see the grandparents, hit up Sublime with Rome and Foxtrot.
You come there and we'll bring you on fucking stage. You can fight Rome Ramirez. It'll be awesome.
Boom. I don't want to fight him. I like Brad Knoll. I'm a Brad Knoll guy.
So,
I mean, everybody is.
Yeah.
The whole thing with Sublime with Rome is there is such a good amount of bands that do Sublime justice, like Slightly Stupid and all these other acts.
Slightly Stupid is one of my favorite bands of all time, too. I think Miles Doty is one of the most underrated guitarists I've ever heard.
Dude, and that was another bonding moment for me and Ken when we got into music was I love G-Love. G-Love is Special Sauce.
Yeah.
So G-Love's my all-time, like, fucking, that was my, like, childhood hero because he's from Philly. But Ken loves Slightly Stupid. We met in the middle there, and that's how we got started.
Love it. That's my shit. That's, like, if you look at my Spotify, it's just, like, nothing but Sublime. I like Iration a little bit.
Hell yeah.
Pepper's okay.
Pepper, let's go!
Slightly Stupid, I said, I think. But
the Expendables? You ever get into the Expendables?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. I love the Expendables.
This is like dorm room Colin and Ken right here, just going in. Well, I was going to say,
so,
dude, fucking.
If you like judge me off the music that I listen to, you'd think I was the biggest pothead ever. But I fucking hate weed because it either makes me melt on my couch and I just don't move, or if I'm drinking, I puke my brains out, so I don't even touch the shit.
You're just over here packing fat lips to fucking Sublime.
That's what I got fucking dipping right now, and I just went for a run. That's like all I had on.
Dude, this has been fucking outstanding, by the way, man. We're really happy for you to be here, and I would love to do this again.
Combo. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Rob Hirsch. So Rob Hirsch is the dude who linked us on Twitter. Rob has been, I've seen Rob in the front row at cities, like in different cities around the country at the fucking gate videoing us. So like I saw Rob do that and I was like, I got to follow up on this, especially there's a chance.
Fuck yeah.
Well, Dave, dude, fucking thank you for coming on. We're going to set this back up. Good luck. White Sox this year when it comes back together. Good luck to the Bears. Enjoy Big Dick Nick, and let's do this again soon.
I'm always accessible. Just name the time, name the day. I'll come back. And yeah, maybe so I talked. Who's the original person I DM'd?
That's me.
Okay. So about the guitar.
Yes.
I bought fucking horses instead. And so it was either spend $500 on a guitar or spend a lot more on horses. And I opted for the horses because gambling on horses is what's getting me through quarantine.
Right.
So the acoustic guitar's on deck. The Squire, I can't stand it.
Bro, I didn't know whether or not you were going to be like, yeah, dude, the horses came through. So I got 9 guitars. This is fucking great.
Oh, dude, that's the goal. That's the goal. So I got shares in 3.5 horses right now. And if they make enough money, like we're gonna reinvest into more and more horses. So hopefully it snowballs into something bigger. But the guitar is on deck in the next couple weeks.
Well, as soon as you get that shit, we're setting up a video and we're teaching you how to play that shit.
Please do, because I have the Fender the Fender online lesson things.
Yeah.
And I think it's good for like a starter because I played piano a little bit. My dad made me because he said it would help with hand-eye coordination, which I didn't believe that when I was 10 years old.
And looking at it now,
I wish I would have done it my whole life. So, but yeah, let's do that. So as soon as the funds are available for that, it is happening.
Dude, good luck with the horses. Get that guitar and let's link up. All right.
Let's do it. Thanks,
guys. DM us the best names. We'll bet on them.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to give us the names of the horses. I'm throwing money down.
I'll follow Twitter tomorrow. We're going to do a live stream. We got 2 racing down in Tampa Bay tomorrow.
Beautiful.
So, one of them's an early big-time favorite, so he won't be worth putting money on. But if you box him with a couple of long shots, then you can make some money.
See, all of our degenerate friends will be listening to this. We'll send them in early, and we'll fucking get them linked in.
So I was worried about tweeting out their names because now everybody's going to be betting them, and they're just going to bet the odds down, which is fine. But if they win, they win. But the one last I looked, as of yesterday, he was a 5-2 favorite. I'm guessing he'll be more like 2-5 favorite once the race starts.
Dude, and this is the ups and downs of the reach of Barstool Sports.
Right,
it's good for money, and then it's bad for odds on your horses.
Exactly.
All right, man, dude, great talking to you. We're gonna do this again soon. All right.
Yeah, let me know anytime, guys. Thanks again.
All right, Dave.
See you, Dave.
All right, I got 10% left, so I got to go get my charger because I got another stream.
All good. That was fucking great. We'll talk to you soon, all right?
Yeah, talk soon. always reachable. Just we'll do it again real soon. So.
All right, brother.
All right, keep it real.
Adios.